Captain Ibrahim Traoré has reportedly given U.S. intelligence personnel a 48-hour ultimatum to pack their bags and leave the country. This isn't just a diplomatic spat, it's a sign of deeper, more complex tensions simmering beneath the surface. So what's the real story here? Essentially, Traoré's government believes that the U.S. intelligence presence is no longer serving Burkina Faso's best interests. The underlying sentiment points to a growing distrust of Western influence and a perceived lack of effectiveness in combating the escalating jihadist violence plaguing the region. Burkina Faso has been grappling with a surge in attacks from groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. These groups have taken control of vast swaths of territory, displacing millions and undermining the authority of the state. Many in Burkina Faso feel that Western support, including intelligence sharing, hasn't been sufficient to turn the tide. Moreover, there's a growing suspicion that some Western powers are more interested in safeguarding their own strategic interests in the region, such as access to natural resources or containing Chinese influence, rather than genuinely assisting Burkina Faso in its fight against terrorism. This skepticism is fueled by historical grievances, particularly the legacy of colonialism and perceptions of neo-colonial exploitation. This ultimatum to U.S. intelligence isn't an isolated incident. We've seen similar actions in neighboring Mali, which has also moved closer to Russia and hired Wagner Group mercenaries for security assistance. This regional trend suggests a fundamental shift in alliances and a growing frustration with traditional Western partners. It is a move that carries significant consequences, not just for Burkina Faso, but for the broader security landscape of the Sahel region. The order for U.S. intelligence personnel to pack their bags and leave Burkina Faso within 48 hours wasn't just about a few agents losing their posts. It was a stark public signal of a dramatic shift in Ouagadougou's foreign policy alignment. Now, we have to remember that Burkina Faso, like many nations, has a complex relationship with foreign intelligence services. The U.S., in particular, has maintained a presence in the Sahel region for years, ostensibly to combat terrorism and provide security assistance. However, these relationships are often shrouded in secrecy and fraught with potential for mistrust. Traoré's government had been vocal about its desire to diversify its partnerships, openly criticizing what it perceived as the ineffectiveness of Western-led counter-terrorism efforts. They argued that the U.S. and its allies, despite years of engagement, had failed to significantly curb the spread of jihadist groups. In fact, many Burkinabé felt the situation had only worsened, leaving them vulnerable and questioning the true motives of foreign powers operating within their borders. So the ultimatum wasn't simply a knee-jerk reaction. It was the culmination of mounting frustrations and a carefully considered strategic decision. Sources inside Burkina Faso suggest that the government had grown increasingly suspicious of U.S. intelligence activities, suspecting that they extended beyond simply monitoring terrorist groups. There were whispers of information being gathered on political figures, economic activities, and even potential opposition movements. Whether these suspicions were fully justified or simply paranoia fueled by historical grievances and regional instability, the perception was enough to trigger this dramatic expulsion. The timing of the order is also crucial to consider. It came hot on the heels of Burkina Faso strengthening its ties with Russia, including increased military cooperation and discussions about deploying Wagner mercenaries, the now infamous private military company. This pivot towards Russia, though controversial internationally, resonates with a segment of the Burkinabe population who see Russia as a more reliable and less interventionist partner. By aligning with Russia, Traoré signals a rejection of the Western model and a determination to chart a new course for his nation, even if that course leads to uncharted and potentially dangerous waters.
The expulsion of U.S. intelligence personnel could be seen as a necessary step in clearing the path for this new relationship, ensuring that Russia has the space to operate without the scrutiny and potential interference of Western agencies.
This isn't just a local squabble. It's a symptom of a larger, ongoing geopolitical shift. Understanding this requires a multifaceted approach, moving beyond simplified narratives of anti-Western sentiment. The U.S. has a long and complicated history in Africa. While aid and security assistance are often presented as benevolent, they frequently come with strings attached or are perceived as serving U.S. interests first. Decades of perceived meddling in political affairs, coupled with support for regimes that didn't necessarily prioritize the needs of their own people, have created a deep-seated distrust that leaders like Traoré are able to capitalize on. While Russia's presence in the region is undeniable, framing this solely as a Russia versus the West proxy war is reductive. African nations are not pawns in a global chess game. They are sovereign entities making their own calculations based on perceived national interests. Look beyond the headlines about Wagner Group deployments and instead consider the specific benefits that countries like Burkina Faso might see in partnering with Russia, often involving security assistance without the same level of political or economic conditionality imposed by the West. Leaders like Traoré are often responding to domestic pressures. The population is increasingly demanding security, economic opportunity, and a sense of national dignity. Expelling foreign intelligence, even if strategically risky, can be a powerful symbol of taking control and asserting sovereignty in the face of perceived neo-colonial influence. Read analyses from local Burkina Faso news outlets and commentators to get a better sense of the internal political landscape. This will provide a much richer understanding than relying solely on Western perspectives. This expulsion could embolden other nations in the region to reconsider their relationships with the West. It also creates a vacuum that other actors will inevitably seek to fill, leading to a potential reshaping of the security landscape in the Sahel. Keep an eye on diplomatic statements from other African nations, as well as changes in their security partnerships. This will give you a clear indication of the long-term implications of Traoré's decision.
So, to recap, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has essentially told U.S. intelligence operatives to pack their bags and get out of Burkina Faso within 48 hours. This signals a significant shift in foreign policy, potentially impacting regional security and Burkina Faso's relationship with the United States. This move raises crucial questions about Burkina Faso's future alliances and the future of counter-terrorism efforts in the region. What do you think about Traoré's decision? Is it a bold move for national sovereignty or a risky gamble that could destabilize the country further? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this information insightful, give us a like to help others find this video. And if you want to stay informed on the latest developments in Burkina Faso and across Africa, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. Your support helps us keep bringing you critical news and analysis.